DadBods, how's it going? I don't have my daughter with me today. She slept a lot last night, and so did my wife. So now everyone is awake. Well, Ada's almost asleep. She's doing good. Wife, you want to join me on this DadBod stream? No. Okay, here's the daughter. So, welcome to the DadBod stream. This one, My goal is just to improve the UI. I noticed some things that I didn't like last stream as far as the UI goes, and so I decided that I wanted to make it look better, make it respond more so that the players could see what's actually happening. Because UI is massive for this, and especially for all these questions that are thrown at them. I want it to be clear what's going on so that, well, it's a good experience, because this is the core gameplay loop. It's part of the core gameplay loop. People are killing crap, they're fighting through enemies, in this case, they're trying to protect their daughter from Robo-Mom, and so, well, they're going to be answering these questions from Robo-Mom, like moving through puzzles, different things like that, and I need this UI to be clean. So I'm just going to keep iterating on it every now and then. Still trying to make progress in terms of actual gameplay, but also trying to make progress in terms of, it actually looks good, it works well, etc. So, without further ado, let's jump in. So, first things first, we got our question control, and I'm actually going to move this. Instead of being in the center, I'm going to move it down to the bottom right. I can't decide if I want to move it to the left of this label or have it just to the bottom right down here. Bottom right, there's still a possibility that it overlaps with something, like a question could go really long and this could overlap with it. So we still run that issue. I do know that I have some questions, like it overlaps a question here. So for now, I'm going to put it in this bottom right area. So just gonna, oh, that one way too far. Okay, hold up. Guess I need to put it inside of this box then, don't I? Which would mean I need a different countdown timer for the different labels. Let's see. I guess the issue with that is that this is a container, so if I put it inside of that, it's just gonna go somewhere. So I need to add more layers to make this work right. Let's see. Where's a good place to put this to make it obvious? I do feel like just putting it right here might be a good way to go. At least it's not overlapping. It doesn't look poor from that standpoint. So let's do that. Okay, so that means the question control here, we're going to need to change this. That, which should resolve all those issues. Okay, so a couple of things I want to do. One, I want it to fade in when it appears. So instead of just popping up, I want it to like be big and then fade in. So let's see. I have a pulse. I've modulate. I've got the position. I've got fade out down. I've got fade in down. What's Yoni? What I really want is so I'd love to have it scale, like start at a larger scale, and then come in. So the fade in we'll have a scale start, which I'll just default to 1. We're going to do tween property modulate. So this is fade out. So if we're modulating from, okay, let's see, modulating from 1 to 0, so we want to modulate from 0 to 1. If I want to tween. All right, so we want to chain. First things first, we're going to set divisible. Then we want to modulate from 0 to 1. Let's see, fade in up does that as well. Then it does these parallel actions, which is what we want it to do. All the new Godot like parallel actions, tweens. Honestly, the new Godot tweens are phenomenal. I love this. Being able to do all these different things is just it's awesome. Okay, so instead of chaining this, we are going to tween the modulate property. We're also going to take a look at scaling it. I wonder if scale anywhere else. Yeah, so my pulse is doing that. So we have the scale. I guess we have a vector 2 to scale with. Okay, so we're going to copy that. So it is going to scale to vector 2 dot 1. So just scale to normal over the animation time from vector 2 scale start. Okay. And that's how pulse works. Which honestly, that should be everything we need. So now it'll scale in from the scale start. So if we set scale start to like 1.1, for example, it'll start larger. It will fade in over that period of time, which is exactly what we want to happen. And these two things will happen at the same time because we set parallel to true. Then we return t.chain, so basically saying we're no longer doing things in parallel. We're going to cruise through just one animation at a time. So now we have fade in and we have fade out. And I'm actually going to add this scale. This scale end to this. I think fading out is actually, I'm going to want to do that when the timer is done. So it just disappears. Okay. So we're going to fade to vector 2 scale end. We're going to fade from vector 2 1. Yeah. All right. I think I can actually update this to just be vector 2. All right, so now we have our fade in, we have our fade out, and I'm just kind of assuming that they're going to work in the way that I designed. And you know what, instead of scaling, let's see. Yeah, so a couple of things that I see here is, let's say that the scale of the property, or the scale of the thing is already, it's not 1, or it's not the scale start. Yeah, that's okay. We're okay. The bigger issue is the fade out, where I want to scale. So instead of scaling from vector 2.1, so assuming that it's already scaled at 1, I'm going to scale from where it's its current size. So maybe if I do element dot scale. That way, it'll scale to the end, starting from wherever it's at. It won't hop around. So let's say, for example, if I have an element that's pulsing and I want it to fade out, I can still do that and it'll still work and it won't look like it's glitching out. So there we go. Perfect. Okay. I'm just building this like UI animation details. I might post it in Reddit, just give it to people, just because it's nice to have these kind of controls, you know, just nice and pre-built. Because I'm going to be using this fade in, fade out quite a bit for lots of different UI elements, I'm sure. All right, so now we hop over back to the countdown timer, and when we start, we want to fade in, right? And the element is self. Fade ourselves in. Let's see, we want the animation time to be 0.4. I'm fine with that. The scale start. Name it. I'm just going to say it's 1.2. And we don't have a tween. So that. We don't need to set the title to be visible. That's handled in the fade in. We do want to set the text as expected. Okay. So one thing we are going to need to do then is change this question control to do let's see. So countdown timer visibility. That's not quite what I wanted to do. This should just call stop. Okay. And then move it to the back. That's fine with me. I'm going to start, and we will not be using vertical. We want it to be horizontal now because I placed it over here. So now we're going to have two horizontal timers. Might look a little bit confusing, but at least it won't be in the center where it's cluttering things up. I can find a different place to put it. So now when we start the timer, it will fade in over 0.4 seconds. The next thing I wanted to do is I wanted this to turn red. I wanted the countdown text to turn red. And maybe, yeah, so turn red and maybe start pulsing every time it once it got down to that 3, like less than 3 seconds mark. So if time current is less than or equal to 3, and we're going to do UI animation details dot pulse. We only want to run this pulse function. I want to run it on the time label. And I'm just going to say that the normal values in there are perfect for what we need. I'm going to turn on some music. Hip hop. Alright, so we're going to detect every single time we change the string. So if function is not equal to that text, we want to do this. We want to set the text. And we want if the new text is different, we want to update table. If we are under 3 cents, turn it red. That works, right? I don't know actually. Font color, yeah. Add theme override, font color. Add color override. Red. You might want to change that red color, but it should work. Needs to be add a theme override. I'm sure I've done this before somewhere. Override. We don't use. Don't use. Don't use. Don't use. The theme style box override. Okay, so this is how I do it here. Add theme style box override. That fine. Because I want to return it into a callable. Well, it's a callback. Okay, so it doesn't take any power, but okay, we're gonna call that good then. We need to turn it back to a normal color. Our current is greater than 3. And we turn it back to white. Right. Perfect. And last thing we're going to do is instead of just making it disappear, we're going to do an animation first. Tail end. I want it to float out, so it's good. I'm actually going to make it 1. Just to fade in on it. Do 1. Okay. So the countdown text red when it gets to 3. It fades. here. Down text pulses and below. And last but not least, we have down text pulses on here and below. Let's see. Fade out when okay. That's it. Fade out resolution. I'm using fade out to okay. Fix that. Count mass value type int array question effect item figure okay. Global item chooser system. Right. For items. Item I want to call that function. That was what we were doing on I think it was Monday or Tuesday. It was building out the item system, the item fusion system, and making it work on all clients. The multiplayer system. So function needs to be called technically only on the server. Okay. You can have it like that. That's very likely we broke something. Not done visibility. Alright. That's the issue. Question control doesn't need to move the child. Do this in the morning. The kind that starts with a show and the reason we needed to set the countdown for visibility was because we needed to move the countdown timer behind things and in front of things, so that we could still click on stuff. Since we moved it up into that corner, it's not in front of anything anymore. We don't need to worry about it when we back. Hopefully that. It's the UI pop up. But, yeah. Synchronizer issue. Where's the head? Oh, yeah. Where did I break you? So is it even being called and said that we need to show the UI on all the sides? So the question, I guess, isn't being called anymore. I guess something I did broke it. It's kind of odd to me, I'll be honest. Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess this server isn't the best isn't yeah. Oh, probably because this is there. Alright. That would explain it actually. That would explain all things. Just kind of failing silently. Oh, because the resource will be low. Right, so I expect that you have the problem. What was the question? Item 2. Where are you? Yes, that potentially data got corrupted because you were not okay. Level up. UI experience system. Experience system. Level up. Type 0. There we go. There's a known bug to it down. Maybe it's still not even. Let's find out. Probably some other issues as well that I'm just not aware of. Will potentially cause. All right, perfect. All right, so it's not there. I guess the thing I would expect to be in this corner. Fade in. So there's that. Not counting down for me. We'll do this dot append, dot add. That didn't. Okay, so it was not a fail center. They'll get indexed at a name on this resource. Item chooser system. Alright, let's crack them 2 bugs left and right. Let's go. We didn't run our code. We were finished last time. So alright, we're running into the results of that. Look at the other shooter system. 9101. Item. Good time. For me. Fix that issue. Right. Counter. Why? Not working. I guess that's just double check. Countdown timer. We expect it to win. This visible is and that would explain why I wouldn't. We're trying to flip away. Okay, I want to get rid of the question. Got the question. Got the questions. No problem. So I got multiple questions. Let's go. Sometimes they're getting a question. I don't know. What is it doing? Okay. So when you're building software, one of the main things you want to create a super tight, as tight as possible feedback loop. So if your testing takes forever, you don't want to test. That's what I'm doing right now. It takes me a while to learn about each of these, and so every single time I test it, it takes more than a little bit more. Yeah, I mentioned correct. Okay, so kind of still doesn't show up. Do this, nothing still shows up. There we go. Now it's there. Okay, it's not fading in from the center. That's important to note. It also didn't fade in the first time I did this. Why is that? I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so it did force my vote. Okay, so it looks like the fade in The first go doesn't work with the component one. That seems weird. How would that be? Maybe, they're technically already visible. I also got a couple of problems. So the text turns red when it gets to less than 3. So I mean, that was working. The text pulses on 3 and below. And mark those as complete. Right. It's not fade on the first one. Content does fade in. Just takes a couple of tries. Lots of stuff. Fade in does not work. Then doesn't happen when the. You gotta make it happen. Means we need to move this little corner detail. It's an personal anchor. Which honestly, we're not gonna change. How do I do? Yeah. I guess this needs to be. Yeah, you need to set it to be half the controls, which is going to change. So I need to set this to be dynamically based on consent. Okay. Need to pivot to the center. Uh, that's with that control. Pivot offset. Okay. So offset. Yeah. Okay. 15 for the common table. Number of places in the center instead of somewhere else. The last thing to figure out is y create a. My page doesn't work. Let me call it. Modulate another from empty 0 alpha 0 to alpha 1. So invisible is true. Mm. I don't know. This is probably gonna take a bit long time. So I'm gonna run it again. Test to make sure things is good. Actually working. I was saying very, very well. Yep. Really good thing. That's premium. Enter studio dot e. The other thing to figure out is why in the world does the question system still show me my code response question? Those are fixed. Initialize that listing. Oh, it seems like it tried. We're gonna put a countdown timer a bit more. All right. Is kind of fading in, but kind of not. So we're going to play with it. But that's all for today. I feel like making such progress as I wanted to. More than a couple of bugs. Did you crash? Add a bad and make it good. Yes, so. Right. I'll write that down. Valid output. Right. Thanks for hopping in, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm just going to share one thing at the very end here. Honestly, if you're here, you're still watching, I appreciate it. Just give me a follow or a subscribe. I'd love to continue providing value to you. If I can provide value to you in any other way, just let me know. I love streaming like this. I love doing stream of consciousness. It keeps me engaged, forces me to stay engaged. I can't really zone out. So it increases the rate at which I work. That's thing number one. I guess thing number two is I also like teaching others. So if there's anything I can do to teach you, help you, let me know. Also working on this community called Dream Builders. Put this together just because I'm trying to find my people. And my people, I decided that the best way I can describe them is that they have a psychological need to turn their dream into reality. They need to see it happen. They need to see their dream become reality. So that's why I started putting together this Dream Builders community. What it looks like is a newsletter every week on holistic success in your life as a whole, whether that be personal development, personal growth, personal capacity, different trainings on maybe automating different parts of your life. You don't need to worry about them. Just weekly newsletter on that. Monthly trainings on, right now I'm focused on tech automation. So just taking different things that you are doing and then making computers do it for you, do it faster than you, do it more predictably than you, and just automating your life and the meticulous things that you might be tackling on a day-to-day basis, teaching you how to do that. There's a training tomorrow on that actually at 11 a.m. MDT. So sign up, you'll get the email invite to that event. I'll be showing you how to use Zapier to just automate different things in your life, whatever you're doing. Right? I find that most people don't really realize how easy it can be to automate different things that they're doing. I want to show you what you can do, what the possibilities are, and my own process for how I take a problem and break it down into an automatable process. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And third thing is you'll get weekly group coaching, which is just training on personal development in what's called the high performance habits, which are the habits that are most highly correlated with success that I've been able to find so far. And the fourth thing is access to a Discord page. So if you are interested in that, scan the QR code, click the link in the chat. I would absolutely love to see you guys in the Dream Builders community. Thanks so much for hopping in again. Let's catch and crush this week. It's Thursday. We still have 2 whole days to get this done. I will see you guys tomorrow for the monthly training. Have a good one.